think I realized that I'm God. I can create, I can destroy, or I can nurture. This is a sign of God. And if you read Hinduism, there are three aspects to God. The creator, the destroyer, and the nurturer. So when people have children, they create a child. If they do not nurture the child, they destroy the child. And I think we must bring this consciousness back into the human mind, that you are a creator, you are a destroyer as well. But if you also put in the element of the nurturer, I think the world will be a great place. I came from a family where my father is very, very rich.
Yeah.
He was one of the biggest single landowners in Singapore. He was Indian. He had 6 Chinese women, all of whom he never married. So starting
Six Chinese spouses.
not spouses, 6 Chinese, what do you call, common law partners.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So already I come from a background that is very non-conformist.
Yeah.
We're not the old-fashioned, like you have to follow a certain race or culture or religion or whatever.
And you said something that about drones and donkeys.
Yeah. So what happened is subsequently when Singapore had its own government, and as you know, we have what we call a benevolent dictator. Right, after a benevolent dictator, what does it mean? They insist on very strict rules, which are good, right? Some of which are good, but then it comes to a point where they implemented rules and regulations where you cannot have a diverse opinion. You cannot say something different. A bunch of do-gooders were locked up under the Internal Security Act. It was that kind of draconian laws that made everybody frightened, and nobody dared to open their mouth to say anything.
Yeah.
So you end up having a nation of drones and donkeys.
Shifting a bit, can you tell us a bit about, but on the subject of what you were discussing, the philosophy of this place? And it's obviously a very unique place in Singapore. There's a lot of sayings up on the wall. What is the philosophy of this place?
As I said, my father is very wealthy. When my husband retired from running the biggest chain of supermarkets
Yeah.
in Singapore, we wanted to retire on a big piece of land.
Yeah.
Because you see, when you're a land owner from a child, you want to live on land.
Yeah.
Rich people can live anywhere.
Yeah.
The difference is the color of the person who's serving you.
Yeah.
Right? But in Singapore, I'm a first-class citizen. If I don't like something, I pick up the phone and I call even the Prime Minister's office and tell him what I don't like.
Yeah.
What can he do? Arrest me, put me in jail?
Yeah.
Isn't it? But now, the gap between the rich and the poor has become that great again.
Yeah.
I think we have the highest disparity of income in the world. And that's very dangerous because we live in a very small place. Everybody is like in a cage, in a
Yeah.
cage. It will implode if they don't watch out,
Yeah.
right? And that is my greatest worry. So when I found this land, I thought I will build paradise again. And there's a lot of people who come here, they love coming here. And then I extended not just Bollywood Veggies, but to the crunchy countryside.
Yeah.
I developed a countryside for my country.
Yeah.
And it's called the soul of the city.
What vegetables do you grow here?
This garden is like paradise, huh?
Yeah.
Like where I grew up as a child. We have a variety, we grow everything.
Yeah.
But our main concentration is bananas, because bananas is easy to grow. And Chinese do not grow bananas because they believe there's a devil in the flower,
Really?
But because I'm only half Chinese, I'm not frightened.
Yeah.
And half Indian, that is the warrior blood.
Sure.
And so we grow bananas because it's also easy to grow. Once
Yeah.
you grow it, you need a dynamite to kill it.
Really?
So you don't really have to have work, you know?
Yeah.
Then we grow tapioca because that's also easy to grow.
Yeah.
And whilst it's growing, you can eat the leaves.
Yeah.
And we grow sweet potato, we grow sugar cane. Those are the basic crops we grow. So we also grow like things like here, the neem tree. This is the noni tree, which is a medicinal tree.
Yeah.
So we have a medicinal section, a garden section, and a herb section. So I grow things like turmeric, I grow lemongrass, I grow dill, I grow all the herbs that people don't grow, the Chinese farmers don't grow.
Yeah. Some say that, yeah, in order to transition to an intellectual information economy, it doesn't have the skills yet because people haven't been taught to think freely. Do you think Singapore is going to be able to take that next step, and that things are going to change and people will be able to be more creative and think more freely?
Really? Is Singapore very wealthy? I hope you all will find out how many Singaporeans earn less than $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
I think many of them earn less than $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
There's a perceived notion that people are well off, right? I think a lot of people are struggling, and that is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Right? You know, there's a lot of people, not just even people who are challenged mentally or physically, but many people have got very low education levels.
Yeah.
Because you must remember, many years ago, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew never wanted to educate Singaporeans. Go and read the history of Singapore. Singapore was never a swamp as far as I am concerned. Go and find out how many Singaporeans earn less than $2,000.
Yeah, I know.
Go and find out when primary school was made mandatory, not that long ago.
Yeah.
Because they're seeped into this religion and racial harmony and doing the right thing and all that. That's holding the country down.
Yeah.
And that's because of the old-fashioned, stupid philosophy of the leader, which is still being carried down.
Yeah.
And I think they should cut that out and listen to more intelligent people and people who dare to speak up.
Sure.
Instead of the pimps and the prostitutes who are running this country.
What do you think about the soul of Singapore, and how has Singapore changed since you were growing up here?
I think there is a total lack of soul in Singapore. And I think it has gone further downhill with the policies that the government has in ensuring that, you know, they always keep the mix of 75% Chinese, 15% Malays, or 25% Malays, or 20% Malays. Why should they do that? Do you do this in America? You think the American government dares to do that? And yet, 50 years of independence, we are still doing it. They are worried a ghetto will form. You mean only poor people form ghettos? Don't rich people form ghettos? So I think I'm very worried with the policies that they still have of like, you know, putting you in that box, right? And unless they completely change their mindsets, right? Look, I'm half Indian, half Chinese. When I was 12 years old, in my identity card, they asked me for race, and I said, I'm Singaporean. And the guy said, there's no such thing as a Singaporean. You're Indian. So on my identity card, it says Indian. This is in Singapore, right? And they talk about racial harmony and language harmony. They are joking, right? And nobody dares to tell them that because they will put you in jail. But I'm 67 years old. They can put me in jail now and make me a martyr for all I care, you know?
Coconuts TV.